Howdy, paranormal people, I'm back. Welcome to the Ghost Encounters Podcast Show. I'm back. I know you all miss me, except for these three, obviously. Going ahead without me. How is everybody?
It's good, yeah. All good. Last week was brilliant.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Best podcast we've ever done.
Yeah, apparently.
Apart from the one that never taped.
No, do better than that one.
Much better, yeah.
So we're all okay then?
Yes, fine.
So, ghost
You've
hunting.
been up to something.
Ghost hunting. Yeah. At a haunted house. Well, allegedly.
So,
Gresley Hall.
Gresley Hall.
We did a
Is
paranormal investigation at
Is
Gresley
it
Hall.
Gresley or is it Gresley?
Well, Gresley then.
Or
Sorry.
Grizzly.
Yeah.
There's a Gresley, isn't there, as well?
Gresley, yeah.
In Wolverhampton, I think.
Yeah, this was
Gresley Hall, Swanley Coat.
Derbyshire, wasn't it? Swaddling coat.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And we've got some pictures of it on the Haunted Evidence page.
Yes, we
We'll
have.
have anyway.
Have a nice video of,
Yeah.
of Nick on the SD, on the ghost box.
Yeah.
And my, was it hot?
It was
Wow.
ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, and if any of the guests that come along, thanks for making it the night you made it. Some interesting characters that night, I found.
Yeah, it was
Good
yeah.
group.
Yeah, it was a good group.
It was a good group.
It was a good job, really, because we didn't have loads of activity, did we? It was a bit, I can say it's a bit quiet, but it wasn't a bit quiet, was it? It was quite
Loud.
Yeah.
We had some good stuff there. We had, I think we had 3 people that picked up exactly the same thing while they were scrying at different times, you know,
Yeah.
that didn't know the other person had picked it up. I don't know how the pendulum work you were doing went.
It was okay. One of the guests had a message for one of the other guests, but I don't think he took that, did he? He says he was.
I think he was judging a little harshly because I think out of the 4 or 5 letters that came out, there was only 1 letter wrong.
Yeah.
So,
And it is
was
quite
quite good.
difficult when you start off, because obviously we've got the scrying boards which look like a round Ouija board in effect, and when you get somebody who's been doing dowsing for less than 5 minutes trying to
Yes.
work one,
yeah.
you know, you want to start off with just yes and no questions and answers, really.
I think they all did very well.
Yeah,
though,
they'll
considering.
give it a go, don't they?
And I think, you know, we may have experienced some synchronicities that night.
Yeah.
Also, regarding birds and
Oh, yeah,
and
birds.
things.
Listen, we looked at the video, because I'm ace with a camera. We went up, you know, when I did the first walkthrough, I was recording everything, and we got to the attic, haven't we? And you turn to the fireplace. There's a chair in the way, you can't see if it was there or not.
I don't think it was.
We didn't think it was, do we?
No. Well, what happened was, we was in the break room, and I saw a dove, didn't I? A white dove, and it was going into a roof space, and then disappeared. And I said, "Oh, that'll be making noise later."
One, was it?
No,
No, it wasn't.
no. And later on in the night, when we went up into the attic, it was dead in the fireplace.
In the fireplace, freshly.
Yeah, fresh.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was quite bizarre because we saw it fly into the roof space over by the attic when we were outside. I think that was Nick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then when we went back into the building and we went upstairs, it was in the fireplace in the attic, and it was dead, so it must have fallen down the chimney or something.
There was it was a white dove. There
No
was
blood?
No blood,
No.
no dirt on it,
No.
nothing. Now, if it was there when we did the initial walkthrough, because I went in there and set the mirrors up, so I moved the chairs.
You'd
You'd have seen it a
I'd have seen
mile off if it was bright
It wasn't.
light.
The fireplace itself was a very small, compact old fire. and the dove was a big bird, you know, so it wouldn't have been easily missed. So yeah, that was a bit bizarre.
Yeah. And I've had a couple of strange happenings at my house since. So I didn't know whether
Did you not sage?
sage. I've brought some sage.
This
since.
is where I think the synchronicity comes in, to do with the birds and the what you've had going on at your house.
Yeah. See, I said at the time, my dad used to keep doves, and I thought, ooh, wonder if it's a bit of a sign. But then, when it was dead in the fireplace, I thought, I'm pretty sure my dad wouldn't have killed the bird and put it in the fireplace. So, and when, I don't know if it was the night after, I was sitting in my living room watching telly. The missus was sitting on the sofa, and the cat was on the sofa too, and we heard this like a what kind of sound, and we all looked up towards the kitchen. Even the cat sat up, and then Callie said, "Oh, what was that? Did you hear that?" I said, "Yeah." We obviously all heard it. So I went to look what would made that sound, and with the cat looking as well, the lid was off. The cat treats like totally off, and it's hard to get out. It doesn't just flip off. It when you push it on, it clips on, and that was off the cat treats. And I think that's why the cat looked up, because the cat's always after cat treats. So as soon as you rattle that thing, the treat tub, the cat knows it's like up looking where his treats are.
Oh.
And for 2 nights I've had a shadow person in my room, my bedroom. And at first time I was like half and half. I thought it was my lad with his he wears a black dressing gown and he'll put his hood up all the time. I thought it was just him, just maybe wandering about. I don't, but obviously it wasn't.
See, there's a hooded figure supposed to be at Gresley Hall.
Oh.
There. It's alright. I've just had a text message from Lisa saying, "What are you guys talking about? Because the lights are flashing on and off here."
Oh.
And I've just said we're talking about Nick having stuff following him home from Gresley Hall.
I don't think it's necessarily something that's followed you home, but it may be something that visit there has triggered, rather than. I don't see why something attached to that building would follow you home. I'm a bit sceptical about things following you home, but I think it could be that you've triggered something, or something that you may have said, or something that you may have felt while you were there.
Yeah, because it wasn't scary or nothing. But
have you never had anything follow you home?
I
have.
I have had an experience of, after visiting a particular place, that I experienced things that weren't particularly pleasant in my home. I have had that happen, but again, I don't know if it was necessarily something from that building that followed me home, or whether you just, when you go out opening yourself up on these investigations, whether it's you've triggered something else and you've opened yourself. I don't necessarily think that it could be something attached to that building. I think it's something that happens to you yourself when you investigate. Right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because other than the lid coming off the cat treats, Callie didn't see anything else, or she hasn't seen anything else. It was just me being a bit mental.
I mean, we do go on these investigations, don't we, with the intent of making communication, seeing things, hoping for some activity, and you open yourself up and you offer your energy, and then guess what? All of a sudden you go home and things are happening at home. Is that because you've opened yourself up? Is that because you've had the intention of inviting something to come and you know what I mean, come and communicate with you.
And not just that, but obviously we had guests to look after, so maybe I wasn't as focused on the spiritual side. I was focused on more of the guests, so maybe I didn't notice it there.
It's hard when you've got guests, isn't it, to really get involved. You sort of, it's like when we did the board at some point, didn't we? I wanted to go on it, but I didn't want to go on it because I wanted the guests only on the board, you know. So, do you know what I mean?
I think also when you've got guests there and you've focused on your guests, and sometimes I think you focus on them and you don't pay enough attention to yourself on these investigations. So quite often after the event, it's quite often us that, I don't want to say suffer, because it's not a suffering, but experience things because we're so focused on the guests and keeping them safe and making sure everything goes okay with them. We quite often you sort of neglect ourselves.
Yeah.
So.
And a couple of the guests have reoccurring. They come on a few different events with us, so they do feel a little bit more part of a team, don't they, than a guest, but obviously we still have to treat them as a guest.
We had some stuff. I mean, when I was up in the loft area, the attic, with Callum and the two,
Alison and Sarah, it's that black, it's unbelievable. You can't see your hand in front of your face. When it goes dark outside, in there it's just ridiculous. You can't, you know, sometimes when you're in the dark and your eyes adjust, never adjust up there. And it's like the attic area where we were split into two. The stairs got like a winding staircase that goes up, and there's one room, then there's another room off that, and we were in the room that was off, not where the staircase was, if you understand. But I was sat through the doorway, so you could see, well... Or not.
You can't see him. If it was light, I'd be able to see the staircase. If anybody was coming up the stairs with a torch, I'd be able to see the light from the torch, if you understand me. And on 3 or 4 occasions, we heard footsteps, definite footsteps coming up them stairs. And there's nobody there. There's no lights, no nothing. But when I'm thinking back now, I was calling it in to come into, as you know what I'm like, how I am on an investigation. I was shouting, having a laugh and a joke with it, come in, come sit here, whatever. Sorry. But I can remember now, thinking back to when I investigated it years ago, we had a lot of activity on them stairs and they would not come past that door frame. Nothing would come into the attic. And thinking back, it was exactly the same 9 years on than it was before.
I think there's a thing with stairs, because when I've now thinking back, I think we have at least one other location that we go to that we have activity on the stairs,
A lot of
going down to a basement, that we have activity on the stairs, and we're forever saying, come on in, come down the stairs, come, and don't seem to move off the... I think there's a thing with stairs.
Well, one of the most popular pictures, which is on a wall here in the Nuke, is on stairs. Well, when you think about it, there's a lot of traffic through the stairs, and they're there for a reason. They're going from one place to another, aren't they? So they're used a hell of a lot, aren't they? Staircases, you know. Yeah. Actually saw a thing on YouTube about that. That was actually captured. I can't remember. Listen, I should know his name. He was investigating it, but it was his actual manager that took the photo. He actually saw that.
Where was it at, Nick?
Boreham. I don't know now.
Oh, I know, but we're pointing at a picture and people don't know what we're pointing at.
Boreham Hall, is it?
It's quite a famous photograph taken of, I think, what's described as a white or a grey lady coming down the stairs.
No, it's called a brown lady, I think.
It's not brown, though, is it?
No, but...
It's called The ghost on Boreham staircase.
Yeah.
Google it, it's true.
It's true. Must be true if it's on the Google.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And Fay, you visited Edinburgh
Vaults.
vaults
Oh, yeah.
this weekend.
Johnny
How
Bugger.
was that?
It was good.
I'd love
Good.
to go
Yeah.
down those vaults, but it was like a guided tour,
Yes,
was it?
it was guided. Emma, her name was. Boy, did she do her job. She was,
Okay.
yeah, she was very good.
Was she Scottish?
Yes, but quite funny with it as well in bits and parts. And
So, was there any spooky stories to be told down in the vaults? What?
there was quite a few. There's different rooms, different people down there. It's been used for different things as well as storing, they think, as dead bodies, smuggling dead bodies, as
Yeah.
in body snatching.
Yeah.
There's a watcher down there that doesn't like you in one of the rooms. There's people that have had scratches and been hit and things like that.
What? Just describe it. What's it like? Is it like a load of tunnels with
Yeah.
rooms off it, or is it just tunnels leading to somewhere?
No, it's like walkthroughs of different rooms, but you're walking through at the rooms off, if you like.
Right,
So, is it
okay.
like a
They
big
have-
passageway with rooms off to the
I think
side?
it comes round. It's like
And is it like brick built or is it like cave type?
cave tie
Okay.
with
Oh,
brick
is it?
down there as well.
Right.
I've got some pictures, but to be
Yeah.
fair, they're that dumb
Right.
because you weren't allowed to use your flash.
Right, okay.
You couldn't use your flash, and you could only use if you videos. They give you only so many minutes maximum. Of
And did you
videoing.
experience anything or get any feelings down there,
Well,
Faye?
When we went off the cuff sort of thing. We hadn't booked, so we went into the place to book, and there was one group just leaving. So he said, "Well, you missed this group, but if you come back in an hour, you can do the ghost story and the vaults type thing." I said, "Yes, that's the one." So we booked on that, and when we were in the foyer, I picked up on a little boy. Just you know what I'm like,
Yeah.
with just a little boy.
Yeah.
Never thought no more of it. And then we went and we had a couple of wines and we were waiting. Got my spirits. We came back, got in, got your headphones, all your audio equipment and all that. We had 15 in our group we had. So they take you outside first. So you go outside and everyone's staring at you because you're tootling down, listening with your earphones to this
Yeah.
girl. And we get down the bottom and she's showing us a bridge. You can see the outside of this bridge, and she says it's the only one of these bridges that you can actually see. The rest are under. They've been built up on, or they're under, or
that's okay.
whatever. So she says we will be, at some point, we'll be directly below this. So we went round, and then we got a couple of ghost stories as we in a gateway, and this happened, and they did this, and they did that. Quite gruesome, the Scots were against the English, let me tell you.
I think they still are, aren't they?
I'm not allowed to say I've got family.
They're not fans, are they?
Family up there.
There's a chance I could actually be Scottish.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So it was good, and then we went round, and then we went into the actual vault. So we went down, and it was pretty dark down there, and it's just candlelight, but they have run some electricity down. So there's the odd little like spotlight, if you like, not big light, so it's very dimly lit. So you just have to be careful because it's very uneven. Very strange down there because you expect it to be cold, wouldn't you? Because I noticed people had put coats on, really warm, and she did say there's no airflow down here, and she told us a story about all the poo coming down out from the sewages and slops and everything, and people being kept down there, and the fish bits and all. Wasn't very nice. And we went. Oh, sorry, I've missed a bit. Well, I was right in the middle of the group. There was 15. We were in the middle of the group as we were walking outside when she was showing us the bridge on the top. And I lost my space because my shoelace come undone. Yeah, my trainer lace come undone. So I had to I bend down, and I got bloody trampled on. So everyone just doesn't want to be at the back, do they?
Right, okay.
So everyone went forward, and she's carrying on down the street telling the story. So I'm tying my shoelace up anyway. Get to the back, and I'm at the back, and I'm thinking, bloody typical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, we go in the vaults, and we go downstairs. And we were in, she took us in a few rooms, and then she took us in one of these little rooms. It was got a lower ceiling. There's no airflow down there. It was so warm. You can hold a candle like that, not a single draft. So she said to you, if you feel anything blowing on your cheek or anything like that, but it's not the airflow, because there is none.
Right.
There'll be somebody stood next to you that wasn't with the group, basically.
Yeah.
And we were in one particular room, and as I walked in the corner, and I thought, ooh, I don't know why, took a picture of the corner, a little sneaky one, you know how you do, because she said no flashing. I don't think there's much on it, to be honest. It just looks all dark. And she said on this, where she stood, she says this there's often been said that there was a cobbler that making shoes, and she was like making a joke saying anyone that's got white trainers on, white shoes, he loved white shoes, because apparently back in them days, if you wore white shoes, you were quite well off, and you would be needing the use of a cobbler, and that, so he takes a bit of a shine to it. And she said in that corner there, which was the one I took the picture of, she says there's a little boy, and before we'd even gone on the thing, I picked the little boy up. She's a little boy there. She says, and he often likes to come with you sometimes. She says, so if you feel an icy little hand holding yours, she says, don't not hold it. You know, he's on his own. He's a little boy. And she says he does often quite like playing tricks, and he loves undoing shoelaces.
No way.
Larry went
said.
at me like that, and she said, but before that, she says, here, this room now, she said, close your eyes, can you hear anything? And we were like, no, nothing at all. She says, no, and nobody up there can hear you either. She says, we're directly now under that bridge.
Wow.
Where my shoelace came undone as we were walking. We're directly underneath. And I always, it's these, look, I triple knot them, or if not double knot them. They've never come undone. Right. Never come undone, my shoelaces haven't before. And they didn't have to. So I thought that was a bit of a strange one.
Yeah.
But yeah, great stories down. I'd love to do it by yourself without no guide.
Yeah.
But it is literally as dark as hell down there. Yeah.
Fabulous. It's somewhere I've always liked to go, but I did know that they are all guided tours, and it would be great to have a little invest, even if they only allowed you a small area, just to be down there and do some calling out and go back to old school investigation down there. It'd be fantastic. Cut
a long story short, my cousin came to us, and they were saying there's Mary something. That tour is good, and that's all underground as well. Mary, what was it now?
Queen of Scots?
No, the Mary something courtyard, and you go down, and she said that's really good as well. That's another one. So you can find out about other. It wasn't just the vaults. There is quite a few around Edinburgh, as you can imagine. Yeah, really good. And we didn't get to do even half of it in 3 days. So no, I need to go back because I need to do the Roslyn Chapel as well, Marie.
Roslyn Chapel. Yeah.
I need to go back for that.
I'd love to go to the Roslyn Chapel.
Old Roslyn.
Yeah.
We should go up on the train. I found out lots of cheap prices.
Road trip.
Can you get to Roslyn Chapel? Do you have to book in, or is it like...
You can book, and coach pick you up from in Edinburgh and take you up to the thingy. So it's you travel as part of that, and you get up there, and you can either have the guided tour, or you can, but I believe you can go and just have a wander.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that's linked to Oak Island, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's also
Da Vinci Code.
It's also
that's why me and Marie got
Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't get a chance for that one, but we could do that. We could train it quite easily. Sorted that. I've sussed that, by the way.
Fabulous. So that was your weekend, lucky girl.
Can I just tell you though, if you go from Crewe to Glasgow, first class, and you can get your first class tickets if you book in advance, you get 5 stops on the wine cart.
Whee!
5.
5.
By the time you get to Glasgow on 5
that
goes
free?
on that
Is that
one, it's
free?
free. You get food and you get 5
Did you
goes.
go on travel? You flew.
Yeah, I found all this out while we were there, you see.
But how much is that ticket?
Well,
Glasgow.
Yeah, from Birmingham
To Edinburgh.
To Edinburgh.
Get you.
I've done that.
I
too.
didn't know I was
To
going.
Glasgow.
It was a surprise for my birthday. Edinburgh
Glasgow
weekend.
Central. Been on the train and I've flown as well
Yeah.
from Manchester to Glasgow. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's.
So how far is it from Glasgow to Edinburgh?
Well, cousin came from Glasgow to Edinburgh, and he said
About that far.
it's about an inch. on the
About an
map.
inch
No,
on the
That's
map.
not far
Um,
at all then, is
No,
it?
no.
What did he say it was? About wasn't even an hour.
Oh,
40,
okay.
45 minutes or something.
By driving? Did they
No,
drive?
train
Oh,
it.
they went.
Yeah,
They came on train.
They came.
Okay.
Yeah, Glasgow Central. I'm sure it was about 45 minutes. It wasn't long because, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, but you can go from Crewe. We had a loop Crewe straight through to Edinburgh.
We could do that.
Don't go Stoke because if you go Stoke, you've got to go Stoke, then Crewe, then from Crewe to Edinburgh.
Right.
And these 5 stops on the cart, is it actually glasses or is it actually bottles?
Not big bottles.
No, little bottle.
5 goes.
Did you?
5
Decent.
Did you
goes.
that
have
is.
red?
It's decent. I didn't have any. I was on the plane, but I
on the
did on the
plane?
plane.
Oh, right.
I just had a little one.
How
on the
long was your
plane.
flight? Couldn't have been that
Well, it
long.
was an hour going, 45 minutes coming
just
back.
going
It was an hour?
Yeah.
I was going to say 45 minutes.
45 minutes coming back.
It was an hour on an aeroplane to get.
45
Edinburgh.
minutes coming back, yeah.
It's not a massive watch, does it? By the time you're up there.
Shoot,
It did.
It's
by
like flying from
I was gonna say, it took
to
me the-
Paris the same.
I was
isn't
just going
it?
to say, it took me that long to get to France.
Yeah, same. Well,
by the time you're up there, they come out with the thing while you're still on an incline.
Yeah.
Have you got anything for that? And next, you haven't even finished your wine. It's, have you got anything for the rubbish? Anything for the rubbish? And do you want? and it's
Such a
bloody hell.
quick
And then
flight.
he comes on and says,
We'll
"We're
be
approaching."
landing.
Yeah, we're approaching. But,
well, you didn't have to have a drink.
Well, we do.
Oh, right. Okay.
We have to have a drink on the plane.
Yeah, it's law.
It says law, travel law, no driving.
Just came back. It's a brown lady of Raymond Hall.
Raymond.
Rainham.
Rainham.
Anyway, that photo was taken by his mate, not the actual investigator.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, let's go back to Faye. Just to tell you,
That's enough about me.
I knew it was the brown lady of something.
Yeah.
Hall.
Right.
Should know that really, shouldn't
But it is quite. I mean, I didn't know what it was called, but I do recognise the picture. It's quite a famous picture, isn't it?
Yeah, all the dogs are getting mental at home, by the way. That's you that is bringing stuff back from Gresley Hall.
I don't think it's anything from Gresley.
No, I don't. Our house is a bit mental at the minute.
Yeah, it could be because we're coming up to the 23rd.
Hey, we're going to be camping on the 23rd
Yeah.
Why? What's the 23rd?
of September. That's
Nobody knows, yeah.
Nobody
It's
knows.
23rd.
What do you mean?
Have the
If we
Simpsons,
disappear,
have the Simpsons
we haven't
mark that date
disappeared,
as well?
We've just been raptured. And we've
What's
just,
it, so I'm missing something here. What's relevant about the 23rd of September?
don't know.
Well, you must know something because you've just mentioned
There's
it.
something going on apparently,
Say there's
but
something
nobody
going
knows
on.
what. Have the Simpsons marked the
Simpsons,
date as
there's
well,
there's
haven't they?
even a film called 23, isn't there?
Yeah. The Simpsons. I think it's more because the Simpsons have marked that date that something's going
There's a
down.
dozen films with the 23rd in. There's like they're saying that evil's going to come to the earth, but we've already missed that date, haven't we? It's already here.
23 is.
We've missed that date, as in nothing happened on that date then.
Evil's already here.
Oh, right, okay.
A lot of the
Right.
top sportsmen throughout the world in their own sports choose the number 23 as well.
So we've got 10 days to wait then, have we,
Yeah.
to see what happens on the 23rd, if anything at all.
Yeah, could be one of them. Just in one of them other days, like the 2012, and you know how many people. Have
Oh,
predicted
when the
end of
world was going
world.
end that time, yeah.
But we don't know.
Is it the Mayan
Simpsons.
calendar ended then?
The Simpsons have
Mayan,
predicted it.
was it?
If it's been on Simpsons, it's like Facebook Simpsons. If it's on there, it's true.
It's
ain't
got to be
it?
true, hasn't it? Yeah, definitely.
I can remember when it was supposed to be the end of the world a few years back when Red was getting mad. Says, no, it can't happen. He was crying. He believed it. She says, we haven't even had school holidays yet.
Oh,
See, and this is the kind of anxiety this causes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Poor kids.
I remember the last conspiracy with the 00101110. I stood at the window waiting for the man in the red coat and the suitcase coming. He never did.
Didn't you see him?
No.
I don't
Didn't
think
offer me the blue or the red pill.
I don't think anybody saw him fade. Did they?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
But
well.
yeah, it is in a lot of films. Dozens. Isn't there? There's loads of films. So if you have a little search for it, stuff does come up.
We'll have to see, won't we?
Yeah. Some people like saying the rapture. Some people saying the evil's coming. Don't know. Could be. You never know.
Oh.
And I'm saying nothing will happen.
What day is the 23rd?
Saturday.
Not away. Ruin your weekend, or not?
It won't ruin our
Let me tell you,
weekend.
something will happen on the 23rd.
Definitely.
Because
Yeah.
something happens on every single day. Something will happen.
Something happened where we are on the 20th.
Yeah.
You're going camping, aren't you? You guys are.
Yeah. We're going to meet God.
My God.
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
your
Yeah.
God, my God.
Everybody's God.
God.
Yeah. No, we're going to have a few drinks, aren't we?
Where are you going camping?
Who will are you coming?
Very well.
Is there any things for you to investigate there?
There is actually. There's a mound which I didn't know, which
Opposite side of the road.
opposite side of the road that Mick Walters. Blame it on Mick if it's not true. What did he say it was there?
Hill.
An L. There's an L there. No, there is
Fairy
some-
mound. It's
Fairy
called.
mound.
A
Yeah.
fairy mound.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fairy mound.
fairy mound. You an investigating a fairy
Yeah,
mound?
I might go climb up there.
What
see I can
exactly
see.
is a fairy mound?
Are they in or on top or what?
Don't know.
What is a fairy mound?
Don't know.
Is it just like a mound in the ground?
A mound
in
in
the
the
ground?
That they found when they were looking around.
That fairies supposed to live on or visit or something, is it? Is that or am I on
I
the...
don't know. The first I heard of it was on Monday at the group at the.
The social night?
But he also said about the pub that's further down.
Is that the
From-
fairy inn?
No. From the mound all the way down to the pub. It's supposed to be really active.
I bet.
With fairies?
Is it with fairies?
I don't know.
I don't know. This is new. This is brand new. And I'm blaming
Information. Okay,
Mick if it's wrong.
so fairy mounds, also known as fairy hills or fairy forts, are the remains of stone circles,
That's it.
ring forts, hill forts, or other circular prehistoric dwellings in Ireland.
Oh my God, is there a portal?
These remains are said to be the homes for fairies and other supernatural creatures, or portals to other worlds.
You're not laughing now, are you?
No,
Let
I'm
me-
never
my
laughing at
fairy
a
mound.
portal. I love a portal. I'd go through one if I saw. That was one of the conversation things, wasn't it? Would you go through? Oh, I would. I'd have to poke my head through or something, at least. Have a poke.
Have a little looky.
Have a little looky. Yeah. Would you? Would you go through if there was a portal? I wouldn't be able to help. I really would not be able to help myself. I would have to.
I wouldn't.
Would you not?
No. No.
That's because you've watched Stranger Things.
See, I haven't watched Stranger Things
Haven't
yet.
you?
I need to watch.
Have
Have
you
they got
not?
lots of portals in that?
That's how they get to the upside down.
Oh right, I need to watch Stranger Things then.
Yeah, you need to go through about four seasons of it before you get
Good
to
that
the...
we've just started watching it
I
again.
used to watch Primeval. Can you remember that? There's portals open
I'll tell you
there.
what I watched
Animals
for the first
Company.
time. You mentioned it a few weeks ago. Dog Soldiers.
Oh my gosh,
I've never seen it before.
that's based on a true story.
Hey?
That is based on it. If you Google it, if you start delving in, it's based with the British Army and yeah.
It was good, it was alright.
What was it about? I've seen it. So.
It's about
Oh, don't tell him.
werewolves.
Werewolves. That's probably why I haven't seen it. Not a big fan.
No, it's not like that. Not a big fang.
Big bang.
I'm not a big fan of werewolves.
No,
I'm not a
mate.
fan of them, really. I wouldn't want to meet one. It's not like I want to be mates with one or something, you know.
He hates one.
No.
Just don't go round his house on a full moon.
You just might as well be mates with somebody normal then, aren't you? If you're not going to be around him when he actually changes.
I suppose. But he'd have some interesting stories to tell you, wouldn't he?
About eating people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
You're
sure
not supposed to
I read
remember,
it.
are they?
It was a story, so
I don't know. No, I don't think so. Yeah, well, it was good. It's worth a watch, honest. It isn't like...
Well, I hadn't
Gene
even
Wolf.
heard about what
Or anything
it
like
was
that.
when we watched it, so it was a complete
No,
shock to
yeah,
me.
It was good.
What's the army got to do with it then? The military and stuff?
Because they're soldiers that are in it.
Ah, okay.
They get sent there, but they're not told basically
They're on a-
what it's for. They thought it was a
They're on a
training mission.
mission, yeah.
It's just like real life then.
It is, oh, yeah, it is
Yeah.
like real life. Camping like us.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll see him the next weekend. Werewolves.
I'll tell you what I've watched this week that I highly recommend. It's called The Unbinding,
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
and it's, I don't know if, I'm sure some people will have heard of them. It's Greg and Dana Newkirk from America, who have a haunted museum,
Travelling
and they
haunted
go on the
museum.
road with it. And they did Hellier.
Okay, yeah.
They've been on loads of paranormal shows in
Yeah,
America.
I think they're obviously they're better known over there than they are
America
over here.
and Canada, yeah, with them.
But yeah, they've done a couple of these documentaries. I don't know, do you call them fly on the wall documentaries? I don't know what they call them. They're sort of film length,
Yeah.
but they're documentaries where they just film certain things that they're investigating and things that they get into. Hellier was all about synchronicities, and that was really good. There was a few episodes of those though, wasn't there? It was like a mini series, really.
That was on about aliens and goblins, wasn't it? And Hendrik Cold, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
stuff like
and
that.
lots of synchronicities.
Yeah.
And this one's regarding something that somebody sent them, an object, and what they go through with this object. Very, very good. So at the moment it says something you've got to pay for on Amazon, but it won't be long before it's on YouTube and it's free or something like that. So I highly recommend watching that.
What is it called again?
The Unbinding.
Can you get it on your dodgy stick, Faye?
Should try. Get anything
Well,
on
you've
that
got a
dodgy stick.
couldn't you? Could you?
Remember, well, my dodgy stick doesn't enable me to get free Amazon.
Oh, don't it?
No.
It is inclusive to, not inclusive, exclusive to Amazon. It's nowhere else. You can't get it anywhere else. But they have got their own YouTube channel. So Hellier is still on Amazon. You have to pay for it. But
Even though you subscribe to Amazon, or do you still?
yeah, you still have to pay for it. But all Hellier is free on their YouTube channel.
Weird Planet, is it?
Yeah,
The Unbinding there, YouTube, 1 hour 38. Is that it?
It's on YouTube.
Movies, yeah.
Movies, you have to pay for the movies,
Oh,
don't
do
you?
you?
I think it's about
Yeah.
£5 on Amazon at the moment to own it, so you can watch it again and again. It's-
Yeah.
All the I used to watch a lot of films on YouTube, but you have to pay for them now as well.
Yeah.
Even though I've got the premium package, you still have to pay for them.
Somebody's put it on there. Full movie in English by Greg and Donna Newkirk.
Yeah, that's it,
Yeah.
yeah. It might be on there.
1
as
hour
well.
48:10 there.
It's very
It's
interesting.
good. It is good.
I'll have a look.
So I recommend to give that a watch.
Not that we're advertising doing naughty things on YouTube and things.
No. Bad people.
Something wrong with a bit of dodginess, isn't there?
I also,
You don't need a dodgy stick to listen to us on YouTube. Just subscribe to
you
our
need
channel.
to be slightly dodgy yourself to listen to us, I would have thought. But you
I
don't
couldn't
need a
find
dodgy
it.
stick.
Until.
That's because I blocked you.
Oh.
It was hard to find at
It
first. Yeah.
actually isn't. It isn't easy to find.
No.
If you if you search for Ghost Encounters of the Third Kind podcast, lots of stuff of ghost encounters.
I kept getting
Close
Close Encounters kept
Get
popping up.
Close
Yeah.
Encounters of the Third
It's whoever
Kind.
picked the
that
name,
keeps-
I think I blame that person.
Who
The
was that?
easiest way to find it is
Wait for the link off you.
youtube.com/Ghost Encounters of the Third Kind and
Oh.
press enter.
Okay,
and
thank
get
you.
us.
When you say third kind, is
As
it
in-
the word
yeah,
or
the
the
word.
number and
Yeah.
RD?
Yeah, third.
The word.
Yeah, the word.
THIRD.
Yeah,
Turd.
third. Yeah.
Close
THIRD.
Encounters of the Turd.
Turd kind.
Yeah. So, yeah. I also listened to a podcast where they were talking about, are they called apports? You know, when things
Yeah.
just drop and things.
Like the skull
was-
thing.
That was very
Skull.
interesting.
Yeah.
Skull.
I had I've only ever, as I remember, had that happen to me once, and it was many moons ago in a previous life, and we were just sitting in the lounge watching the TV, and a lady's ring just dropped right in front of me and landed on the carpet.
I remember that. I remember seeing it.
Out in the lounge. I didn't see where it came from, but it literally just dropped straight in front of it. And I was sitting with my then husband, and he saw it as well. And I picked it up, looked at it, wasn't familiar, had no idea where it came from. We were very, very baffled. So we put it on the mantelpiece and kind of just, don't know where that come from, very strange, really weird. Went to bed, got up the next morning, gone. I never found it.
Was it gold?
It was,
Oh, we should have weighed it in.
yeah, and it
Didn't
went
have
missing, and it wasn't there, and I never saw it again. And
What
that's-
about the horse? Whip,
Well,
the horse crap
that didn't really
just appeared on your table.
That yeah. I mean, we didn't
Horse crap.
see horse
Hello.
crop.
Crap.
Not a whip, a crop.
We didn't see that drop or fall, but yeah, I found a horse crop.
Is that in the same house?
No, different property. That just
Weird you are.
yeah, horse crop. A horse crop. What a strange thing. But we've still got that somewhere, I think. So that didn't disappear. It turned up, but it didn't disappear. I think we've still got
I
that.
bet it's in bedside table.
I bet.
There's no need, is there? No need for the rudeness. So
Spanked by
yeah,
a mysterious
was,
horse crop.
Maybe husband sneaked it in and just left it there.
Yeah.
Oh,
She'll accept it if it's paranormal. If it's a paranormal whip.
I don't know why I bother talking to these. I don't, don't know why I bother. Terrible.
Shocking.
You just bring the tone down every week.
ooh.
So have
Bit of gutter
has
level.
anybody else ever experienced an apport
Funny
or
you should say that. No.
no?
What's it called?
Are they called
Apport.
apport?
Apport.
Oh,
Apport.
Apport. Yeah.
I've been in places where stuff's dropped. You've heard stuff dropping, but not actually physically seeing it in front of my eyes like you did now.
Right.
I don't
Because
think I have.
because quite often I think they say that it does it for a reason, so it has some relevance. So if it's a coin that drops, they say always to check the date, and it's possibly the date that has the relevance. I don't know what the ring relevance was
Well,
because it didn't
Where
look
did that
familiar.
coin come from
What coin?
that you found
I
when we
know.
were doing that investigation?
Yeah, I knocked that on the floor, didn't I? Must have done.
Was it already there?
I don't know. I knocked my phone on the floor, then somebody else dropped into it, and that's where I looked, and that's when I found that coin.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so. But I didn't see that drop out or anywhere. I actually knocked my phone off the side, so it could have been already on the side. But it did have significance to one of the guests who the date was significant. Or it could have come out my pocket, because obviously when you put your phone in your pocket, if you've got a magnetic case, sometimes
sticks to it, doesn't it?
coins stick to your
I
case.
don't think where it came from was the importance. It was the
No.
importance that it was there.
The date. Yeah, and the date.
The importance was it fell on the floor and you picked it up,
yeah.
and the date was relevant. So
Yeah.
Even
think
if
I was in the
even if it
pub.
was your own penny and it fell out of your own pocket, and you just, the fact that the date was relevant to somebody was
good.
that's what the thing was. So, not for you, Faye. You've never.
No.
Got to ask for one then, haven't you? Got to ask for one. What would you want to drop out the ceiling?
A winning lottery ticket would be
Yeah.
nice, wouldn't it?
That'd be nice, yeah.
As long as it didn't disappear again the next
Yeah.
day before you had a
Sleep
chance
with
to
it.
cash it in.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
My luck, I'd win £100 million in £1 coins. You'd fall at the sky and squash me, and I'd be dead. That's my luck.
Where has that just come
Just my
from?
luck, isn't it?
Pluck that out the air there.
Just my luck.
Win all the money, but then it kills you.
Yeah. That's it. One of them programs, what was it called? Where they go ding, ding, ding.
Tales of the
Tales of the
Unexpected.
Oh, yeah,
Unexpected,
yeah,
remember
yeah.
But
that?
they were, weren't they?
Sunday
Used to freak
morning.
me out. They
Oh,
used
it's
to
on
freak
now.
me out.
Have you watched one recently?
Yeah, they
Be
should.
terrible,
They're
aren't
terrible. They're not what you
Shocking.
remember.
No.
I do this regularly,
Oh, I love them.
And there'll be a film that comes out, and I tell you what I did it with. I don't mind telling you now. When it first come out, it shit the life out of me. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't go
It was a
sleep.
good one. Yeah.
Well, I think it was out in 1983 or something like that. So I was only like 13.
30, did you say?
Oi. And I didn't want to go sleep. It shit me up, honestly. Anyway, I told Lisa about it. She says, I've never seen it. This was about 10 years ago. We watched it. She says, I
Didn't
can't
have that
believe-
same effect.
No, it was absolute crap. It was. Honestly.
People have done that, though, haven't they? Pulled something out of dreams. Haven't they? Or had been scratched
know.
and all of that sort
Oh,
of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
and
that's, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see what, yeah.
Sort of thing, yeah, whatever.
There's a word for it. Don't ask me what it is. There is-
We won't ask
No,
you
don't
then.
ask
No,
me because I
we
don't
won't
know what it
ask you
is.
I was going to ask
Fantastic.
you then, but I decided not to.
We find that for next week.
Can I ask you next week? Will you have the
Ask
answer
me
now?
next week.
Okay.
Do you research on that question?
We did have all intentions of answering some of your questions this week, but my fault. I was really busy this afternoon and I had quite a busy week, to be honest, and I didn't have time to sort of gather them all together and sort them out. So that will possibly be next week now. So I know I keep saying it's coming, but I promise I'll get it sorted for next week's podcast. So, my fault.
Yeah. Marie's fault.
Your fault,
My
Marie.
fault.
Because we couldn't do it, could we?
No, too busy, weren't we?
I'm sorting my
No,
car
just
insurance out today. Sorry.
Just stop at we couldn't do it. There was no need to say anything else after that, was there? Just the first bit would have done. So yeah, I will get them sorted.
Fairies. We need to do one on fairies, don't we? Now you've brought that into my mind.
Yeah.
Fairies and
Goblins.
And
giants. Yeah.
Goblins, yeah.
Yeah.
And these like little
Prickle.
what do they call them? These under these little things that's supposed to live in caves and under the ground. They call there's a name for them, isn't there? Something.
Tails.
Turtles.
Yeah, that's it. Turtles. Let's do a podcast on turtles.
Isn't that a big good podcast? Tails.
Yeah, paranormal turtles.
Paranormal turtles.
What, teenage turtles?
Mutant
They were
ninja
paranormal,
turtles.
weren't
Yeah.
they? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just
So?
going to have to find out what these little people are called now.
Shoo people.
Not nymphs, are they, or something like that?
Nymphs.
Nymphs, are they
Oh,
nymphs?
way up.
Are they, that's what they're called, nymphs? Not nymphos, nymphs.
Nymphs.
I can't think of what they're called. I can't find
Goblins.
it that quickly.
Nature spirits.
No, so there's these little things that are apparently called the knockers.
Okay.
Yeah. And these
Nymphs and knockers.
These are little people are well known to the Welsh, Cornish and Devon folk, especially the miners. They're about 2 feet
The
tall
Tommy
and they live
Tommy
underground.
Knockers, yeah, Tommy
Oh,
Knockers.
Uzi did a film
And
on
the
that.
Pixies as well.
Tommy
Pixies,
Knockers.
isn't there?
Not
There
Steven
was a film.
Spielberg. What's his name?
Stephen King.
Yeah. Wasn't it?
I
Did
think
he?
it was, yeah.
Tommy
It's a bit weird,
Knockers.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of them, I think.
Pixies, little Cornish pixies.
That'll be interesting, yeah. We
Yeah.
should do that, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably be good. Should do one on synchronicities at the same time.
Don't even.
Synchronicities.
I don't know anything about these little fairy things and stuff, and fey folk and all that.
Well, then you can listen and learn.
I will
then,
do.
Nick.
I will
Do
You
you
can
know?
Google.
Listen and learn.
Yeah. Can you use Googly?
Yeah, googly. Googly goo.
Don't put nymphs and knockers in your
No,
YouTube
no.
search bar.
No.
That
Nick.
reminded me of a spirit box session you did this weekend.
Oh,
that did.
was good. Wasn't it?
I heard that. I did hear it.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't
Well, he
just.
didn't just
I
say
didn't
it,
just
did he?
Be there, being absolute prat, and then
Oh,
the
I'm
thing
sorry.
go.
Yeah.
What did it do?
No.
Woo!
That's it.
So,
Woohoo!
Yeah, it was funny.
That's what I heard. So that's what I get out.
It's very good, actually.
And then you was moaning that I was too loud.
Oh, you were
And then
loud.
when I'm on here, you tell me I'm too low.
Yes, well.
That was particularly loud though. But obviously the spirit box in your ears is very loud.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not aware of how loud you're shouting. So
And it was quite difficult because obviously when we had some of the guests on the Etsy experiment, we could actually hear some of the responses coming out, and we were like, "Why are they not saying anything?" And when I had to go, it was a bit. I knew I was hearing stuff, but it was really hard.
Yeah, you couldn't quite catch what it is.
Yeah, because it was probably so loud. I don't know if that was the reason. No, I'm just
I
crap.
think you know what it is when we have guests and we're doing different communication methods is that when we do it, because we're used to doing it and we've had the practice, so we're coming out with lots of words, or if we go on spirit boards it moves for us and that, because we're used to what we're doing and we've got the right energy and we're able to channel energy. But when the guests are doing it and it's their first time and then they're not really hearing much or the boards aren't working, and then we come along and show them how to do it, and I bet it must look so strange that they say, "Oh, how come it only works when you go on it," kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of these methods just need practice. When I first started using the spirit box, I very rarely heard anything through it. But now it's just attuning yourself to picking up on it, isn't it, and being able to hear and making sense of the gobbledygook that's coming through, and it just takes practice.
The more you do it, you adjust to it, doesn't it?
And it's the same with spirit boards, isn't
Yeah,
it, as being
definitely,
able to channel that energy through. And so yeah, it's difficult for
There's got to be somebody willing to let that happen as well. If they're doing a board for the first time, they don't know what they're doing. Obviously, we wouldn't put anybody in risk, because you open it up, didn't you, Marie?
Yeah.
And call for Satan and stuff like that. No, I'm joking. No, it was opened up properly and everything. But what I'm saying is they don't know what they're doing. We're there supervising, but if they don't realise that one of them has got to open up for let something channel through them, nothing is going to happen, is it? Nothing's going to move.
I think lots of people, I suppose as we keep saying, nobody knows anything for sure in this field, but I think a lot of people think a spirit board is going to be some entity, some spirit's going to come along and they're going to physically move that planchette around the board for you. And that, in my opinion, and I think all of our opinion, isn't how they work.
I'd love that to be the
Somebody,
what's it?
although there has been instances of people reporting and filming the planchette moving on its own without anybody touching it, but again, we don't know how authentic, how genuine these videos are, but I think we believe that somebody has to move that planchette. they're not always aware of it. They're not doing it purposely.
That hasn't watched it though. Sorry for
Somebody-
butting in. That hasn't. When it's moved on its own, it's just moved, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It hasn't spout anything
No,
else. So
no.
that's, to me, it's either an intelligent ghost or a poltergeist
Yeah.
moving that.
Yeah.
If it's real.
But when we come to spelling things out and telling ages and messages and stuff on the board, somebody with their finger on that planchette is moving that planchette.
Definitely.
They're not doing it purposely. They're not trying to fool anyone. They're not faking anything. They're not.
You can do
They're
it
not-
blindfolded though, can't you?
Yeah,
so even
it's-
if they are pushing it themselves, they're going to have to.
I went on the board. Didn't move a great deal, did it? But it moved.
And you were looking the other way.
I said, "I'll come on because I know I'll let something channel through me." But I looked the opposite way, so I didn't know what it was doing or where it was going or whatever. Because it just wasn't moving. When you're getting something moving just little bits like this, that's no good, is it? I think that's just people, just
Yeah.
their hands are shaking or whatever. There's no.
Yeah.
When it works, it just goes, doesn't it?
It's basically, it's when any energy or spirit or whatever terminology you want to use uses you as a tool to move that planchette on its behalf, basically, isn't it? And it's influencing where you push that planchette to, so that you're able to spell out names and things. So it is a channeling, I think. So if people that have not attended investigations before and they're new to it and they go on a board, yeah. And I, for one, don't want to stand there and tell people, for this to work, you've all got to open yourself up to it. That I don't want to be doing that.
Right,
So.
here's one for us. We're on about doing something for Halloween, weren't we? Here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether it's got to be on Halloween, because I know a lot of people that come celebrate Samhain, so they might not want to sit with us idiots. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, but if we do something for Halloween, I say we can do like a mini investigation, do some boards and dowsing, scrying, that sort of thing. I say we film it all and put it out for everybody. For the
Yeah,
listeners,
sure, absolutely.
you know, and then they can actually see us idiots doing something that we talk about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good.
Yeah. And I think it would be good to do it on Halloween, because that's the point, isn't it? When that veil's supposed to be thinner between our two planes, that's the point of doing it.
We could do some live stuff, can't we?
Yes.
And also, if we film everything we do, and we can put it out there and whatever. But it'd be good, I think.
It'd be interesting to do a live Estes. I think that would be good. So yeah.
Because until you actually see it happening, you can't really. You can listen to what we tell you that happens, but until when you see it, then it blew me away. Even though I was involved in it and I knew what was going on, but when I sat back and watched, it was just weird, wasn't it? You know. I still haven't seen that other one though. There's another one, wasn't there? We did it, paralysis. Seen clips of it, but I haven't seen all of it.
Oh, okay. When you were in separate rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, it's like that. The Estes works very well with you two, because you're friends, you've got a good connection, you've got the same kind of energy, and you've done it so often that you just, you know, you've got that connection, haven't you? So the Estes between you two works quite well. But you have to work and build on that, don't you? It just doesn't happen overnight. So,
and I think you have to just also remove the thought of you sounding an idiot just by shouting random words out.
Yes.
Maybe that's why on investigations, because they are semi. I know they're friends, aren't they? But they're rude. So they are.
I think he was just pointing at you before you came out with the
You
innuendo.
said Sammy.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I've lost
See, I
my
didn't say
train of thought
anything.
now.
I was looking at the
You know,
cakes.
they were the guests, but we have built up a bit of a rapport with them
Yes.
over the last couple of investigations. So
I
hopefully, if they come on
think,
more,
if they keep coming, I think we'll start getting a lot more activity.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully. Anyway, that's the theory, isn't it? You know.
Well, they've got to feel comfortable with ourselves.
I think that has worked before with us guys, hasn't it? When we've done the same thing together, and yeah, things start to build. Nothing happens at first, and then I think, you know, you build the energy between yourselves, and it's like-minded people, good energy, and it builds eventually, doesn't it? It happens.
Definitely.
You just have to be patient and keep going at it. I know, even down to the EVP work, you know, I did that for time and time again, never got anything. But if you persevere, I think it's good if you choose one piece of equipment and let that become your thing. You know, and it starts working for you, whether that be the spirit box or EVP work, recording, or whatever it may be. Is just pick a piece of equipment that you are happy with and just keep on using it, and eventually you will get really good results out of that.
I mean, it's here most of the time now. I mean, I should do it here as well. But I used to sit at home with the ghost box on, with my headphones on, just asking stuff with my mind, not out loud, and listening to it. And it's crazy what stuff comes through, you know.
Yeah.
It's like anything, if you can try and get a connection, like you say, with something, I'm convinced it'll work a lot better for you.
Yeah.
You know.
But it does take. So when guests attend our events and they don't hear anything on the spirit box, it's not because it's nonsense. It's because it's the first time you've used it.
There was definitely times, I know you've just said it. There was definitely times on Saturday.
Yeah.
That we were asking questions and we heard responses and they never said anything because the headphones weren't on right, and we could hear the ghost box, couldn't we?
Yes, yeah.
And we heard responses from the questions and they just weren't catching them.
No.
You know.
So moral of that story is just keep persevering. You will get results eventually. Don't dismiss things after the first one or two times, you know. Keep on going.
Have you ever done that automatic writing?
Yeah.
Have you ever had anything from that?
Bits,
Not much. What we need to do is, are you on about with the planchette now?
Or
Do you wanna
just
do it?
When you get a pen and
Just
No,
anything.
right.
on
Just
paper.
the normal automatic writing. I'd like to do it because it's only like sitting down in a room and just opening up, isn't it? And anything that comes to you, write down instead of, you know, when we say about when we meditate, anything that comes into your mind, just tell us. That's all it is, isn't it, really?
It's another form. It's just channeling, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
I think it's a mixture of two. It's a little bit like the spirit box, where I always say you don't always have to hear it. It can be anything that pops into your head as well on a spirit box. It doesn't always have to be audible, you know. So if a word just pops into your head for some reason, then just shout that one out. Same thing with automatic writing. If a word comes into your head randomly, you can write it. But then another part of it is very much like a spirit board, where something's channeling through you and moving your hand to write a word, the same as it would be pushing a planchette through you. So it's a bit of both mixed together, I think. Sort of spirit box and
It's all
and
depends
Ouija
what you're
boards.
into, doesn't it, really? If you're into that sort of thing, or you're into hard investigating, where you don't believe anything unless you can see it or hear it yourself. You know, like I could sit here and you could be doing this, and I could think, well, just writing anything down there. But when you experience that yourself, things change, don't they?
But again,
know.
I think that's something that you would have to choose to concentrate on.
Yeah, definitely.
And practice and persevere with
Definitely. I was always odd evidence. I wasn't bothered about mediums or anything spiritual, Ouija boards, anything like that. It was just, if I could hear a ghost or see something or catch something on tape, that was enough for me. But now I've opened up the last 10 years, definitely, towards trying anything, any communication, anything. I mean, my biggest love is obviously, there's meditation. I just, and the stuff I've had through that, my biggest love, because seeing my little clockwork elves is probably the biggest. What's it?
So we had something to tell you, Faye, and it's just I've just remembered
Meditation
it.
jogged your mind.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
it's just
what is it?
meditation.
So you know how you say you always struggle to clear your head in meditation, and you're thinking about where am I going to do my shopping,
Yeah.
what we're having for tea, kind of thing. We saw something, a clip of something a couple of days ago. Myself and Nick T saw it pretty much at the same time, where there was a clip of a gentleman that said, if you're having problems clearing your mind during meditation, if you can try this.
Why are you smirking? Is
No,
it
Because, no,
It's
seriously.
mental. Wait
So,
till you try it.
right, okay.
if you try this, it will possibly help you. So if you're settling down ready to meditate, and you get yourself comfortable, and you take some deep breaths, and you close your eyes, and then you're trying to clear your mind and it's not working, so if you just say to yourself inside your head, not necessarily out loud, I wonder what my next thought will be.
Right.
And you go blank.
And your mind goes completely...
Have you tried it?
Yes. Yes.
I've tried that.
It was the most bizarre thing. So, yeah, I tried it straight away. I was like, okay, so eyes closed. I wonder what my next thought will be.
But I looked.
Nothing.
I
Nothing
looked-
comes into your head.
I looked at why they said, the reasoning behind it, and this one guy said the reason behind that is because when you sitting there and you're getting all your thoughts of shopping and whatever, it's like you kind of focus, your brain's focusing on something in the past. But when you say to yourself that
Future type thing.
I wonder what your next thought was going to be, it actually brings you right back into the present, and you haven't got any future thoughts as of that point.
Right.
So it just gets rid of all your past.
It does work. It does
Yeah.
work.
It's a bit crazy, really.
And I was saying that it reminded me of something that used to happen when we were younger with hiccups, and I used to do it with my kids as well. And I would say a good 9 out of 10 times it would work, is when the kids had hiccups, and I think most people hate hiccups, don't they? Because it's just an annoyance. Is for somebody to stand there and tell you to hiccup, and they say hiccup then, hiccup for me, hiccup then, and they keep asking, and all of a sudden that person can't hiccup, and the hiccups have gone. It's a really bizarre thing, and I think it's kind of the same thing. When you ask for something to happen, it doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? So, but it does work. So you just ask yourself what your next thought would be, and you have no more
I'll
thoughts.
try that then.
And then I think eventually it does kind of start wearing off, and thoughts start coming. So you just ask yourself again, and it goes blank again. It works, and you've tried it, Nick.
Don't ask yourself hiccup.
No, don't ask yourself to
I won't
hiccup.
ask that.
And don't ask yourself at work, because you might not get anything done.
That's good. I went home and I tried it when you were on
And it
about
worked, didn't it?
I can meditate pretty much it anyway, but I tried that and it's mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were telling
I
Mark,
get frustrated, you see, and then I just pack it. I'm like, walk away, because I
shouldn't.
can't just.
we were telling
need to
Mark,
meditate.
who was
I
the
do.
hypnotherapist, and he was quite surprised when he said he'd never heard of that technique before, and he couldn't quite work out why it would happen at that moment. I'm sure he did when he went home and thought about it. But yeah, he said that because I suppose that could be quite useful for him when he's telling people to clear their minds and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So try that one.
Try that
A little tip for everyone out there who wants to try meditating, that struggles from, making your mind a bit blank. So there you go.
Yeah.
Right. On that note.
I think we'll leave it at that one then.
And if you listeners think out there, I wonder when the next podcast is, it'll be next week.
Yes,
Next
it
week.
will, yeah.
Next week.
So we'll see you then. Next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
Unless we see you before.
Oh.
Okay, that is it for today.
Thanks for listening again.
Thanks for listening.
Cheery bye. people.
Bye.
Bye.